If Tokyo is where Japan's future is born, then Tohoku is where its legends still breathe. In the north, it's easy to believe in monsters and magic, where tales of mighty heroes and cunning poets are still celebrated by its people. None more so than the legend of the one-eyed dragon. My name is Ailan, and in this series, I'm going to take you with me on the adventure of a lifetime. Together, we're going to climb mountains, visit castles, tour temples, and discover everything that Japan has to offer. Along the way, we'll make new friends and learn a little more about the history of each place we visit. So settle in, sit back, and join me as we discover what makes the land of the rising sun so unique. Today, we're headed to Sendai, the capital of the Tohoku region and home of Date Masamune, the one-eyed dragon. This is the northernmost region on Japan's biggest island, Honshu, and sometimes referred to as Michi no Oku, the end of the road. This region is known for its remoteness and beauty, but is often overlooked by Western visitors in favor of the more traditional Golden Route. Still, Tohoku offers some of the finest hiking, forests, and mountains in all of Japan, with temples and castles equal to those of the south, if you know where to look. For now, though, we'll focus on the rich history of this region, discovering the origins of the mighty Date clan and taming the myth of the one-eyed dragon in the land he called home.
Are you ready, guys? Yeah! To the gun zone! Yeah!
Keep an eye out for these icons as we discover new things throughout the video, and check your stats at the end to see if you found them all. I started my day with a quick stop by Kokyo-gayen to view the outer walls of the Imperial Palace before I left Tokyo. Since the Imperial family still lives here, entrance to the inner grounds is private, but the eastern gardens are open to the public for free. After looking around, I headed to Tokyo Station, the iconic red brick gateway to Japan's railway network. This is the busiest train station in the world, with more than 4,000 trains scheduled every day and about 500,000 passengers served. For our trip to Sendai, I booked a ticket on the Shinkansen, or bullet train, and crossed another new experience off my bucket list. This was the JR East Super Express route from Tokyo to Aomori, and took just under 2 hours, much faster than the highway bus, which would have taken about 6 hours. I'll do a deeper dive into getting around Japan in a future video, but just remember that you need 2 tickets to ride the Shinkansen. This isn't a mistake, as all train tickets in Japan are standardized, so you're just buying a basic fare plus the high-speed Shinkansen service upgrade. I've always wanted to visit Sendai, and I have a bit of a personal connection with the city. Back in 2020, I was accepted to be an assistant language teacher, or ALT. Unfortunately, my program was cancelled due to COVID, but I'm excited for the opportunity to explore the place I would have called home and reclaim some of that old excitement. So, with my ticket all set, I grabbed a sandwich from the on-platform konbini and was soon on our way. Sendai's urban origins began in 1601 when Date Masamune moved here, transforming a small fishing village into the seat of power for the mighty Date clan. 4 centuries later, Sendai is Tohoku's largest and most cosmopolitan city, boasting a population of over 1 million. But its connection to Masamune has never faded. As soon as I stepped out of the station in Sendai, everything felt immediately different to Tokyo. The air was a little fresher, the urban noise was a little quieter, and everywhere you looked, there were signs of the city's Date clan heritage. As usual, I decided to walk so I could see more of the city and headed out to Hotel Green City, where I'll be staying for the next few days. Okay, just got to Sendai. I took the bullet train up today, 2 hours from Tokyo, Super Express, straight to Sendai, which is great. The first time I was ever on a bullet train. It was so smooth, I fell asleep the first 5 minutes after it started. Woke up an hour in, thankfully, before my stop. But for the rest of that time, just enjoyed the view. It's crazy. I've heard that you can't feel actually how fast you're going, but it's true. It's so smooth. So awesome experience and super fast. I saved time, and if time is money, getting up like a huge amount of distance in just 2 hours. So right now it's about 6 o'clock. Time to get some food. Time to explore Sendai a little bit. And tomorrow, adventure.
I headed out to explore the Ichibancho Arcade, the largest covered street in northern Japan. It was now that I started to notice another difference. In Tokyo, there's English signs and people who can translate for you pretty much anywhere you go, but in Sendai, it's much rarer. As I walked around the city, I saw almost no signs that were in English, which was pretty exciting, so I kept my translation book in hand and did my best. I've never studied Japanese before, but I love languages and I love traveling, so it was a great opportunity for me to expand my skills and try my best. I think I did a pretty good job. There's something very authentic about struggling your way through a conversation in someone else's language, just trying to do your best. And I think most people are pretty charitable and pretty generous when it comes to trying to help you out and understand what you're trying to say. Eventually, it was time for dinner, and after looking around a little bit and feeling a little bit nervous, I ended up at Yamadera, a famous Japanese roadside chain founded in Hokkaido back in 1980. Nowadays, they have stores all over the country, but they still serve their Hokkaido-style dishes, which are super popular. This is my first time eating at a Shokin-style restaurant in Japan, where you place your order at a machine and then give the server your ticket. Unlike in Tokyo, where you can always find an English menu, I was stuck with my Japanese on this one, so it took me a little bit longer and I tried my best, and it ended up being delicious. So after finishing my amazing meal, I headed out to see a little bit more of Sendai as I wound my way back to the hotel. I had always heard about how amazing Japanese arcades are, so I stopped by one to have a look around. And on my way back to the hotel, I had my first experience at Lawson's.
I love you!
Successful first day. Sendai feels awesome. Tokyo is definitely objectively a better city. It's got something for everyone. Everything that you want to do, every food or everything you want to buy can be found in Tokyo. It is objectively like much better than Sendai. But for me, having grown up in Scotland and loving the north and not loving it colder, I got up here. Tokyo has been like, I don't know, 80s when I was there, so I don't know what that is in Celsius, but I got up here and it's 15 degrees Celsius when I got here. It's like probably 8 or 9 when I was walking around, which is perfect. That's what I love, and I didn't have a single English interaction since I arrived, which is great as well. It's very authentic and everyone's really nice, but I like languages and I like learning and I like interacting with people in the way that is like most natural for them. And Sendai feels good, feels really good. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow after I actually have a full day to explore, because it's gonna be more running around and I'll probably be really tired, but perfect day one of Sendai. Success. Good morning, guys. So today we are heading to Zuihoden Mausoleum and Sendai Castle and exploring a little bit more around the city. So let's get into it.
We'll start our first full day in Sendai by taking the subway to Zuihoden Mausoleum, then walking along the river to Sendai Castle. These are two historic sites that have a deep connection with Date Masamune, and I'm really excited to visit both of them. So I headed out from Hotel Green City and stopped by Lawson's to pick up a packed lunch. It was pretty bright out today, so I decided to try and find some sunscreen and asked the staff for help. Neither of the attendants spoke English, but they humored my broken Japanese, and we finally had a breakthrough as we all exclaimed "Shiro!" white together, and just kind of fell about laughing. It was a huge release of tension for me and stress, trying to actually communicate something. And it was just a very genuine, just sort of enjoyable moment. So with my packed lunch and my shiny new sunscreen, I took the Namboku subway line from Kita Yobancho Station to Itsusubashi Station on the Namboku line. As expected, the subway here felt very different from the trains in Tokyo and felt a little bit more dated, but much, much quieter. I didn't have far to go, so it was only a few minutes before I got off the train and started walking to Zuihoden, the final resting place of Date Masamune. Born during the Warring States period in the 16th century, he was a cunning warrior and quickly rose to power, leading the Date clan when he was only 18 years old. Using various means, he subjugated most of the southern region of Tohoku and was known by the nickname the One-Eyed Dragon due to losing an eye to smallpox when he was a child. At 23, Masamune defied the legendary warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi and later became a close ally of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun. It was Tokugawa that bestowed the lordship of Sendai on Masamune in 1601, increasing his income to 620,000 koku, or measures of rice needed to feed one adult for a year. Unfortunately, Zuihoden's original structures burned down in World War II, destroying generations of Date history and priceless national treasures. The stone staircase leading to the mausoleums was undamaged from the war and is original from the feudal era. The 62 steps represent the 620,000 koku of the clan's domain, and the trees that line it are over 380 years old. The Nihanman, or Nirvana Gate, was the ceremonial entrance to Zuihoden, and also was destroyed in the fire, but was extravagantly reproduced using 100-year-old cypress trees from Aomori. Date Masamune passed away at the Silver Age of 70, having survived a lifetime of war and struggle, and was laid to rest with other members of his clan on a wooded hill in the western heart of Sendai. The current structure was rebuilt in the traditional Momoyama style in 1979, although it underwent restoration in 2001 to more closely resemble the original structure. His mausoleum, Zuihoden, was later joined by Kansenden, mausoleum of the second lord, Date Tadamune, and Zennoden, that of the third, Date Tsunemune. On the north side of Kansenden is the mausoleum of the ninth lord, Date Chikemune, and near this are the mausoleums of the 11th lord, Date Nariyoshi, and his wife. The lord's complete remains and burial artifacts, stationery and suits of armor, were excavated from the graves, offering historians unprecedented access to the life and times of the great Date lords. It's interesting to think, although the Date lords are long gone, their influence still remains and is an essential part of Sendai's character and history. Although Masamune was viewed with caution by his allies for his military might, he was a tolerant and insightful statesman who successfully developed the industry of his lands and was highly respected for his ethics. In one surviving aphorism, Masamune cautioned against moral extremism, saying, "Rectitude carried to excess hardens into stiffness. Benevolence, indulged beyond measure, sinks into weakness." Then, as today, his words offer enduring wisdom, warning that strict adherence to justice without compassion is tantamount to cruelty, while unlimited kindness without boundaries may become a harmful liability. To walk the way of the One-Eyed Dragon, we too must find balance. After lunch, I headed along the river to Sendai Castle. This fortress, sometimes called Aoba Castle, was built in 1601 atop Mount Aoba by Date Masamune. Today, only ruins of the outer walls and a guard tower remain, but its views over Sendai are second to none. During the Boshin War, the castle served as one of the centers for pro-Tokugawa resistance to the emperor, and was taken over by the new government following Sendai's surrender in 1868. 2 years later, the Imperial Army dismantled many of its old buildings to better station modern military systems, and a large fire in 1882 destroyed many more. The castle's fate was sealed following World War II, when the United States Army razed any remaining Edo period structures, resulting in the site we still see today. Although no buildings from the feudal era remain, partial restoration allows us to see what it would have looked like and what the layout may have been like back in Date Masamune's day. The site of Sendai Castle's inner hall is marked clearly, with round stones showing where pillars would have been placed and signs explaining where the different buildings were and what they would have been used for. Date Masamune himself is represented in the castle with a statue standing proudly atop the battlements, looking out towards Sendai. This is an iconic and famous statue, and although the fortress he built has vanished, it's clear to see that the legacy of the once great warlord still lives on as strongly as ever in Sendai. Okay, so Castle Day is complete. Start off by going to Zuihoden Mausoleum, which was amazing. Seeing the Date burial sites and walking through the redwoods, the cedars, these huge ancient sakura blossoms raining down these pink and white petals just like through this hundreds of years old, like 400-year-old forest of trees was pretty special. So that was beautiful. And then I walked on a river, went to the ruins of Sendai Castle, stood where Date Masamune would have stood and sat with his retainers in the castle walls, which was very cool. Saw the statue of him on his horse, which is placed really badly for tourists. Anyone wanting to take a picture with the statue after noon, when the sun starts to go into the west, has to take a picture. If they want to get a picture of his face, you're taking a picture into the sun. So it's a silhouette. I'll put something up of one of the pictures I took. So you have to get the angle just right, otherwise you're just screwed, honestly. Which is very funny, because I know they didn't think about that when building a statue, because why would they? He's looking out towards Sendai. It makes sense. So, if you're in Sendai and you want to go to the castle first, wake up early, go before lunch, get food, or just go straight to the castle after, and then you'll be good. Yeah, Japan is great. Sendai is still really growing on me. I like it a lot. Got dinner at a izakaya, finally. So that was great. Little like mom and pop, small izakaya. Had ramen again, but it was very different from last night. This time it was like a seafood broth with a tiny little shrimp in there. It was like, crawfish from like Louisiana, New Orleans, when you have Crawfish Etouffee, and it's teeny tiny. It's like half the size of that, less than a centimeter, tiny little shrimp, but it tastes really light. It was good, but very different. So I'm full, I'm sleepy. Tomorrow, heading to climb a mountain. See you guys there. Good morning, guys. Today we are going to Risshaku-ji Temple in Yamadera. So it's about an 1.5-hour train ride west of Sendai into the mountains, and it's supposed to be super beautiful. I know there's a couple cafes and little eateries and food places that I want to check out on the trip as well. So we're gonna get there right about lunchtime, and it's perfect. Let's go! Today, we'll be heading to Risshaku-ji, a perfectly preserved Buddhist sanctuary and an outstanding relic of the samurai age in Tohoku. I started the day with a morning stroll around Sendai and visited the supermarket to get a packed lunch to bring with me. I always love visiting supermarkets in different countries and seeing what different produce they have and what products that they love. It's always really interesting, and you can learn so much about a place just from what they pack in the supermarket. After stocking up on provisions, I headed to the station, and soon I boarded the train from Sendai to Yamagata, which passes through tunnels and valleys on its way to Yamadera. Yamadera is nestled in a small, peaceful valley right outside Yamagata. It's a beautiful train ride through the mountains, but only one train departs every hour, so make sure you check the timetable so you don't miss your train. Just outside Yamadera's charming old train station, there are helpful signs for travelers and pilgrims, showing the best route to Risshaku-ji and guides for other hikes in the area. The town has an old world feel to it, as though there might be magic hiding around any corner, and there are many places to buy food and souvenirs should you wish. Risshaku-ji was founded in 860 AD by Jikaku Daishi, one of the most important Buddhist priests of the Heian period. The flame Jikaku carried from Risshaku-ji Temple in Kyoto is said to still be burning in the Konponchudo Hall, the temple's oldest structure, tended to by a community of mountain ascetic monks that still live here, as they have for centuries. Although Date Masamune is most commonly associated with Zuihoden-ji Temple, he would likely have been aware of Yamadera as well, as one of the most important spiritual sites of the north, and likely visited in his capacity as lord. While we don't have first-hand accounts of his experience, another legendary character offers a glimpse into the past, this time the legendary poet Basho. Basho was a wandering haikuist, best known for his classic travelogue Oku no Hosomichi, or The Narrow Road to the Deep North, which he wrote while traveling with his apprentice in 1689, only 50 years after the passing of Masamune. Basho's influence is so great that he is to haiku what Shakespeare is to drama, and Oku no Hosomichi is to Tohoku what Boswell and Johnson's A Journey to the Western Isles is to Scotland. The ascent to the upper temple complex involves climbing 1,015 steps, lined with towering cedars. This is a beautiful and meditative walk with many spots to stop and rest along the way. The Niamon Gate is an impressive Zelkova wood structure that marks the entrance to the upper temple complex. It is covered in paper blessings and is an important cultural property, renowned for its intricate wooden carving and calming presence. In Buddhist tradition, passing through this gate signifies shedding worldly attachments before entering the holy mountain area. Risshaku-ji sprawls across the mountain, with many sub-temples perched atop dizzying heights, offering impressive views of the mountain and valley. The view from the upper gallery was especially breathtaking, offering unparalleled views out over the Owu Mountains, making my pilgrimage to Yamadera absolutely worthwhile. Risshaku-ji contains many caves and monastic cells used for mountain asceticism, and the natural geology looks almost like honeycomb. The large lantern by the Okinoin's inner sanctuary is the end of the stone staircase and is said to be one of the 3 largest lanterns in Japan. After descending from Risshaku-ji, I walked to Zuihoden Temple. This is the start of the Shirowa Nanaiwa, the Seven Stones hike, an ancient pilgrimage route along the cliffs behind Yamadera. path ascends through a forest and is almost as steep as the stairway to Risshaku-ji, although quieter and less crowded than Yamadera's main temple complex. And almost immediately, as you set off, we're swallowed by nature. For the first time since landing in Japan, I felt truly alone, but that's what I expected. I'm searching for something most tourists miss: Tarumizu Sanctuary. According to tradition, this is a natural grotto and site of mystical power, hidden deep in the woods within a rare honeycomb-patterned cliff. The site is associated with Enin, a Buddhist saint who practices asceticism here in the 9th century, and houses a tiny shrine to Inari-Okami and Ailan, the syncretic gods of prosperity and guidance. Naturally, I decided I wasn't going to leave until I found it, and had followed the old winding path ever deeper until I finally arrived. I made a votive offering at the shrine within the grotto and basked in the peaceful atmosphere beneath the trees. I thought about Basho's journey and one of his most famous haikus, which he wrote: Shizuke ya, iwa na shimi iru, semi no koe, or such stillness, the cries of cicada sink into the rock. Like us, he was transfixed by the spirituality of the place, and I wonder what he was thinking when he visited, and what guidance they would have received.
I'm really glad I came to Yamadera. Mountain ascetic worship and temple hiking is really very meditative, very peaceful. I like it. I love being out in nature, so even if there are beware of bear and monkey signs everywhere, it's fun. But the area really is beautiful, so cherry blossoms and stuff. Mountains, some with snow on them, which you guys can't probably see through the trees, but maybe you can see just through here, just in the distance there. But yeah, this was a great day. I feel more centered, so probably get some dinner and then head back to Sendai and call it a day.
Each of the 7 stones along this route is a historic site of meditation, and I stopped at each to think about everything I had learned. Before coming to Japan, I felt very lost, and I decided that one of my primary goals on this trip would be to undertake a spiritual adventure as well as a cultural one. Although we had already visited Sensoji and Meiji Jingo in Tokyo, my trip to Yamadera very much felt like a first step along this journey, and I feel like some of the weight I'd been carrying had started to fall away. Whenever we feel stuck in life, it's important to rediscover the things that make us feel alive. Like Date Masamune, we must strive for balance, and like Basho, we should always appreciate the beautiful world around us, and never forget to always have fun. Our time together in Sendai was much too short, but the lessons we learned showed us a different side to Tohoku. Far from its caricature as an isolated rural region, the last 2 days showed us a land of splendor and history, a place of spiritual enlightenment and natural beauty, and the home of a man who was bigger than his myth, his magic and mysticism. Date Masamune, the One-Eyed Dragon. Sendai will always have a special place in my heart, but it's time for our next adventure. Tomorrow, we'll be heading inland to Yamagata and seeing what this new part of Tohoku has to offer. We'll be experiencing our very first onsen, and maybe stopping by a few izakaya. There's so much still to see, so I hope to see you next time on our next adventure in Japan.